Okay, I couldn't stay on the interstate anymore. I was just like going nuts. And look at what I'm driving on now. It just is just so remote. It's still a good highway. As you can see, here comes a car. Probably the first one that I've seen since I turned off the highway. But it is just so lovely. And I don't know if you can see the mountains, and then there's the moon up there, and then way back over there is a train. And anyway, I'm enjoying my drive a whole lot more now. Hi everyone, thanks for being with me here on my channel today and for joining with me and Bandit on our travels. So that intro that you saw was of me heading east, and I just had to get off of the interstate, and I got to where we spent the night that night pretty late because I stayed over in Flagstaff and uploaded that last video that you saw of me in the Coconino Forest, and it put us on the road late, but that's okay because where I was staying, it was just to sleep for a little while and get back on the road. And I had actually thought that I would stay at a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel because both have said that Bandit wants to come up and say hi. When I start talking, he just cannot figure out who I'm talking to. And he starts looking around for all the, he's like, who are you talking to? And he starts looking for the people. But on Campendium and all the other sites that I use to find places to stay, it had said that both the Walmart and the Cracker Barrel in Gallup, New Mexico, which is where I was going to stay, were open. And Gallup, if you go to their tourism chamber websites, it says that they are open and not closed as usual, that they are opening back up and welcoming people. And so I thought that that might be a possibility. But I got there, and the Walmart, I think I'm telling you the right town. No, baby, you got to go down. I think I'm telling you the right town. Anyway, the Walmart was right on I-40, and it was lit up like a prison yard if somebody was trying to escape. And I don't know how anybody could sleep there. So I went on to the Cracker Barrel. But the Cracker Barrel, there was nobody in the parking lot. It was closed for the night. And even though Campendium and other sites say that people have parked there, when there's no RVs or trucks or any kind of overnight campers or something, I don't stay in such places because I think that's a telltale sign. So I drove all the way around the building to make sure. And when I did, I realized that it kind of sits right in the middle of 3 different hotels and a Home Depot. And so as I drove around, I saw this one parking spot that looked like it would work for the night. And there were other overnighters in RVs and like somebody pulling a horse trailer and something like that. And it was kind of on a side road. And so I stayed there from only 10:30 at night, and I was gone by 5:30 the next morning. In fact, you can see the picture of the sunset coming up on the highway. It was just such fun to be back on the road and to get to see all of that. And I'm so proud of Freebird. She is driving like hot butter on a pancake. I mean, all of the issues and the kinks and everything all of the work that I've had done on her seems to have paid off, and she's even getting 10 miles to the gallon, which in a Class C is unheard of, let alone one her age, and I'm just so proud of her. And Bandit is doing really good traveling. I've learned, though, that he has issues with trains. Not issues, like he doesn't get upset or anything, but he can feel the rumbling in the RV before I can even hear it. And you guys know with my brain injury, I got from the brain surgery, I got hyperacusis, which means I have really, really sensitive hearing. In fact, in the forest, you guys, I could hear the pine needles, not pine cones and not limbs or anything, but the individual little stick pine needles falling from the pine trees and that time of year and the wind and everything. And so I wore my earplugs while we were in the forest a lot, which is it just makes me feel like such a weirdo, but that's just what I have to deal with. But we were driving down the road and it was dark, and Bandit just started barking, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's having a dream or something. But then this picture is from where we're parked right now, and we're close to a railroad track, not real close. In fact, I don't even, unless they honk their horn or sound their whistle or something, I don't even hear them inside the RV with the fans going and everything. But Bandit, he'll sit up every time and he'll kind of grumble or bark. He does like a boof. He doesn't really bark. And one time he just wouldn't settle down, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And Robert had said, well, maybe he is hearing, because when he did that in the middle of the night when I was driving, we were going past some railroad yards, and he said maybe he's hearing the steel on the tracks that you can't hear. And so this time I sat down on the floor with him, and I could feel it on the floor of the RV, you guys. Poor little thing. He's been reacting to the trains this whole time. And then so, because of my hyperacusis, I thought, why am I not hearing it? And so I leaned my head down closer to the floor, and sure enough, I could hear that steel on steel. And so I was like, poor little baby guy. But I have learned when he grumbles to not ignore him. Because one time it was javelinas in our camp, another time it was a porcupine going through, and so I've learned not to ignore that baby little boy. And so I also want to share with you guys that I am having to change my travel plans, because from here to Texas over the next few days is in the upper 80s and 90s. And I was going to be doing harvest host stays and dry docking and had all of these fun things planned, and I'm still going to do fun things. In fact, stay tuned for the next video, because it's a very special video with a very special guest star. But it's just so hot. And so I was sharing with Robert that I'm going to be changing my routes or doing some itinerary changes. And he goes, you mean your routes? And I was like, no, my routes. And he's like, it's Route 66. And I'm like, yeah, but it's my routes. And so we were laughing and joking about it. But I want to know from you, do you say your route when you're traveling, or your route? I know it's both ways. And we always joke that, because I'm from Texas, we always joke that it's a Texas Yankee thing. But I want to hear what you have to say. Right now, Bandit and I are staying, and I'm not going to disclose our location right now, but we are staying at an RV park so that I can get caught up on some work and some writing, because my writing partner is freaking out because I made the deadline of getting my next book out, How Being a Nomad Saved My Life, and getting that out by Cyber Monday, which is November 30th. And so she's like, you've got to do some writing, because she's helping me edit and organize, and because I get lost on what I've written and what I haven't. And again, that's part of the brain injury. And so she keeps me on track, and she's like, you've got to stop and get some writing done. So we're staying at a place right now at an RV park that's on this pretty little lake, and I just love it. And just wanted to give you guys an update and say thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment, and help me grow my channel. I'm going to ask that of you every single time. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you down the road.